Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the Sacred Living Podcast. I hope everybody's doing well this week. If I'm sounding a little bit more calm than usual, it's because I'm on my second cup of the womb tea from Tropiki. And I'm feeling like somebody is just here stroking me with their hands, just giving me gentle strokes. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's very calming and soothing. And so you're going to get that energy tonight. Just really soothing. So, the topic this week is self-love. And it's something that I love to talk about. It's been something that I've been talking about for a long time. In 2009, I guess you could say 2009, I started my YouTube channel, and that was when I decided to go natural. And I believe that was a self-love journey for me. I started to discover myself and ways to accept myself, my outer appearance, that is, because self-love isn't just one thing. It's not just about appearance. But that was a big part of it for me. That was a part of what I felt I needed to work on in myself. And so I created my YouTube channel for that reason, and also to inspire other women like me to want to accept and love themselves as they are. So, and then 2013, when I started Island Naturals, where I really started to promote self-love a lot more. And I think the conversation kind of got larger too, around self-love. A lot more people were talking about it. And so I went into promoting that on social media pretty much. That's what I did up until this year, 2023. So I did that for 10 years. I did that online. And I enjoyed it, but I kind of got tired of it now. So also, because I think there is need for deeper healing, we have to take the conversation a little bit further than our appearance. Self-love has been a conversation that I find common amongst people who they call oppressed groups or marginalized groups or minority groups. Amongst those are, I guess, people who are overweight, people who are homosexual, black people. I'm not saying that I group all of these people in the same category. I'm just telling you what they group them as generally. The same oppressed group or similar oppression. But black women are definitely in that because we lack self-love. Black women show up every day trying to be everything but themselves. So since 2009, I've been an advocate of self-love for black women. In the fluffy girls or curvy girls community, they're encouraged to love themselves as they are. And that's why I'm saying, for me, they're not really in the same category. They're being told to love their unhealthy selves. And I don't think that is good. I don't think that's kind. I think it's kind of wicked to promote that to people, that they should accept themselves being overweight and unhealthy, when it's going to affect them later on. They're going to be uncomfortable in their bodies if they aren't already uncomfortable in their bodies. But I think most of the conversation around self-love has really been more about appearance, how you look and trying to accept yourself as how you look. And I think that has been, I'm going to talk about Black women's experience a lot because I am a Black woman. That's just the truth. Other people may find it relatable, but I'm going to speak from my experience as a Black woman always. So what I find with Black women is that even with all of the conversations about self-love, we've still gone back to trying to change our image to look like something that it is not. And that tells me that we need deeper healing. In my previous YouTube video, I also mentioned this. When I was at the retreat, I was talking to the young ladies there. One of them asked me, how did I get into womb wellness? And I essentially told her that I think that many Black women need womb healing. Apart from the physical ailments that we have from, wounded wombs, we need healing in our wombs because spiritually we are broken women. And it shows up in how we show up every day in this world. And so the self-love is lacking. It's not there. It's just something that we say. We say that we love ourselves. I mean, everybody thinks that they love themselves, and that's mainly because it's surface level. You think that you're supposed to look in the mirror and say, oh, I love how you look. Oh, you look amazing. Or we think that we put on some clothes, maybe some brands, and we fix our appearance a certain way. And, if it is in line with how society says we're supposed to look, then yeah, we love ourselves. But that's not true, and it's gonna show up in so many other ways. And let me just say also that it's not just Black women. I did say Black people before, but Black men also struggle with self-love. It shows up in different ways. We don't really see it in their appearance, but in so many other ways we see self-hate in Black men. But we don't talk about their self-hate very often. But that's not really a conversation that I'm not a man, so I tend to stay in my realm. I'm a Black woman, so I speak from that position always. So I can speak because I date Black men. I have Black brothers. I have a Black father. So I kind of understand the Black male experience as well. I see it. We have to learn to love ourselves deeper, than what we think we look like or what we're supposed to look like in the mirror. And I think that self-love requires doing a lot of the work that I've talked about in the previous episodes of this podcast. A lot of healing needs to be done for us to get to a place of self-acceptance. And then we can talk about self-love, right? But when you get here, I do have some tips for how you can perfect your self-love holistically. So I have 8 tips on how you can perfect your self-love. Number 1, embrace your background. That's your upbringing, where you come from, right? If you're from a middle class family, if you're from a poor family, if you're from the hood, if you're even from your average family, some people come from wealthy families and are actually ashamed of it, but you have to embrace that part of you. Embrace your roots, embrace your family, where you were raised, the culture that you were raised in. Being a Kingstonian, I've met a lot of people who are from, outside of Kingston in the rural areas. And most of them tend to be ashamed of it, and I don't know if it's because When I was younger, a baby, we lived in the country for a very short period of time. So I don't know if that is the reason why I feel such an attachment to country living, but I've always loved it, and I've always kind of felt this type of envy for my friends who are from country. When they tell country stories, it's just different. The experiences, even when my father speaks, because my father grew up in the country as well. And when he talks about country living and country life, especially as a child, I just think it's one of the best ways a child can be raised. And it sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like just living. And I don't experience that in Kingston. Kingston is a very, very different livity from out of town. And I think that's across the board. That's everywhere. City life is different from rural life. But I think you do a disservice to yourself when you forget the places where you come from, when you forget the people who you came from, the people who you interacted with as a child, the people who know you. When you return to this place, everybody knows your name, there's a connection there, there's a beauty there. And you do a disservice, I think, to your children and grandchildren who will want to connect and know where they're from. My grandmother came from Portland. She left Portland and came to Kingston to start a new life. And she did that. And she was able to build herself to a point where she ended up bringing her other siblings. It was 12 of them. She brought all of them to Kingston except one. One was left behind. And they abandoned the space totally. Now, when I go back there is really nothing for me to go back to. I just see a space, but I can't envision what it was like before, And now, as a person who wants to move outside of Kingston, I can't see a space for myself either because they abandoned it. There's nowhere for me to look. So you do a disservice to your descendants when you don't stay connected to where you're from. But you also do yourself a disservice because that's who you are. That's a part of you. So neglecting or denying that part of you is denying yourself. Number 2, and this is closely related to number 1, embrace your ancestry. And that means your bloodline, where you come from. As an African person, I'm speaking to African people. Embrace your African ancestry. Embrace where you are from. And I know that's difficult for us to do because we're so displaced and it's hard to connect to a specific place in Africa. And Africa is a whole continent, right? So many different countries, so many different kingdoms, different tribes. It's hard to really connect to one. But try and learn. Do some studying. There's so much information out there. There are so many African scholars who have done work, who have put forth work for us to be able to study ourselves and know who we are. Go and find them. Dr. Ben is one of them. Dr. Ben Jakanan. He has written many books for us to read about Africa and African civilizations, right? So it's up to us to learn and know of our ancestors, know what our ancestors did because they did great things and they laid extremely great blueprints for us on how to live. So if we really want to know how to live and live sacredly, our ancestors knew how and they left proof. So go and study them and learn from them and know yourself, because knowing your ancestor is knowing you. That's your bloodline. You are your ancestors. So if you're forgetting ancestors, you're forgetting self. Number 3, do some shadow work. And this is for you to get honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself about some of the things that you are doing and why you are doing them. A lot of us are in denial about the things that we do and why we do them. A lot of times, the things that we do are for validation, for outside validation. We want to be validated by the system. We want to be validated by our job, our boss, our friends, our partner. We want the attention of the opposite sex. There's so many reasons why we do things, but particularly for Black women and, Black people who have been sold this idea that we're not good enough and we have to constantly alter ourselves, especially Black women. A lot of Black women like to make the excuse that they wear wigs and weaves because they like to change things up. They like to look different. One of the things that made me take that leap into cutting off my relaxed hair was asking myself the question, why was I doing this thing to myself every month? Why was I making myself a slave to a relaxer? Every month I have to go and do this thing where I remove my kinks to get my hair looking straight, and then that would be when I feel confident in myself. I feel beautiful at that point. But who told me that I needed to do that? Who said that my hair as it grows out of my scalp is not good enough? I had to ask myself those serious questions. And I couldn't come up with a logical answer that made sense for my sensible self, right? So I said, no, this is where I'm going to challenge myself now. I'm going to challenge my self-love. Do I really love myself? If I have to do all of this to feel beautiful, do I really love myself as I am? Of course, I encourage you to go back and listen to the episode on shadow work. See, ask yourself some questions. Start asking yourself some questions and see if there is any self-hate that is there lingering, whether covert or overt. Number 4, and this should have been number 1, eat like you love yourself. Nourish your body. Be choosy about the things that you put inside of your body, because that is self-love or self-hate, right? What you choose to do with your body, what you put inside of it, is going to indicate whether or not you love yourself. If you choose to put fruits and vegetables that you know are good, things that are going to nourish your body with vitamins and minerals that you need, things that are going to make your body function at its highest, things that's going to actually make your body look naturally beautiful, right? You're going to have a healthy weight. You'll have healthy skin, healthy nails, healthy hair growth. All of those things will show when you eat well. So you don't even have to worry about appearance. All of the things that your appearance should be naturally will take care of itself once you are eating properly. If you eat junk, you're going to feel like junk. When you look at your plate, can you say to yourself, I love myself, and so I'm taking care of myself by putting food in my body that is going to nourish me. Number 5, stop the self-deprecating talk, right? Marcus Garvey said, if you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life, right? And we can say we are 100 times defeated in the race of life as Black people, to be honest. I mean, it's obvious based on our state how we feel about ourselves. And Marcus Garvey told us this so many years ago, and it can still apply today. We have to work on our self-love. And so the way that you talk to yourself, a lot of times, I think it's interesting when I talk to people sometimes and They say some words, and I used to do this too. We use words, and it's like we forget that they have meaning. And, we just use any word however we feel like using them and think that they don't have any, power. That's not true. Word sound is power. You create with your words. So what you're thinking and what you're speaking is going to become your reality, right? So if you're saying self-deprecating things, even in jest, if it's supposed to be a joke, we tend to do that a lot. We say self-deprecating things and we say it in a joke. It's like you're laughing at yourself before somebody laugh at you. It doesn't really help you in the long run. It just makes you feel less of yourself. So we have to change our self-talk. Instead of saying, boy, I'm just lazy, change it to, I could really work on doing more of this. It's that simple. Change your self-talk. And one of the best ways to change your self-talk is through words of affirmations. Affirmations are one of my favorite things to do, and I actually need to do more of it myself. I always tell you guys that this podcast, this YouTube channel, this work that I'm doing is not just for you guys, it's for me as well. It's some of the things that I need to work on in myself as well. So as I'm reminding you, I am reminding myself also. And it's a great reminder for me. I love it because after every week, I really do reflect on the things that I speak about in the podcasts. And it comes out in my journaling as well, the things that I need to work on. So it's healing for me too. It's not just about, pretending like I'm a teacher and I want to tell everybody what to do. It's my healing as well. Number 6, do things that you enjoy. Do things that you love. And this doesn't just include doing fun things, making everything that you do in life fun, or doing everything that you love. And that includes the type of work that you do. We punish ourselves a lot doing things that we don't love just for money, and it doesn't make us happy. Follow your passion, what you're passionate about, and that is where your purpose is, and you'll be happier, and you'll feel a lot more love for the things that you do, the things that you put energy into, right? That's self-love. If you create a space for your happiness, that's self-love. And that applies to everything, your relationships. If you're in a relationship that is toxic and makes you unhappy more than it makes you happy, then you have some self-hate issues. You can't choose a relationship that makes you happy, that you thrive in. Choose to do things that you enjoy. If you enjoy going to the beach, go to the beach more. And I mean healthy things to enjoy, because some people enjoy drinking. Drinking isn't healthy. It's crazy that we normalize that. I used to do it. I used to drink and I used to enjoy drinking as well. I just didn't think about what I was doing to myself, because it was supposed to be the thing to do. Number 7, stop comparing yourself to other people. And I know this is hard nowadays because we spend a lot of time on social media and we see a lot of people's lives, and it's easy to compare yourself to theirs and forget all of the beauty that is in your life. And this happened to me just recently. I was on YouTube, and sometimes YouTube suggests videos to you apart from what you usually watch. I don't know why the algorithm does that, but it will send you something that you don't usually watch. I saw a video of some YouTubers talking about some local celebrity couples, and they were rating them. And I thought, okay, at first when I saw it, I said, well, this might be fun to watch. Let me watch it because maybe I'll just have a laugh. But at the end of it, I really felt myself starting to compare my life to theirs and starting to think that, okay, maybe something is missing, or maybe I should have made some different choices before. I start second guessing my decisions. And I hate that. I don't like that. And social media does that to you. When you don't focus on other people's lives, you tend to be content with yours. You don't really think that you're missing anything. So what I do is I filter my stuff. I'm very, very specific about what I follow and who I tune into. And so when I see things like that, I tend to just say, not interested. Please don't show me this anymore. Right? So I'm sorry. After I watched the video, I was sorry that I watched it. But these are celebrities. It's not even like they're regular folks. Like, there's no way that regular folks like me and you could really compare our lives to theirs. They are very different, living completely different lives. Right? So it's ridiculous to even try to compare yourself to celebrities and people who have probably billions. It's crazy. Be realistic. Know who you are, know where you are, and why you are where you are, and be content. Right? Be content with your life. And if it is that you want something else, then change it. Do the work to get to where you want to get to, because nothing is impossible or out of your reach. If you want it, go for it. Right? If you don't want it, it don't make no sense you hanker over it. Lastly, number 8 is to surround yourself with people who love themselves and are living authentically. It tends to rub off on you. People who are just being themselves and are good with themselves, love their lives, aren't trying to change or be something that they're not, just living in authenticity. Those people around you will help you to feel content with yourself. People tend to copy who is around them, just like babies. They see what adults do around them and they copy it. Adults do it as well. We're all followers in some kind of way, right? Some more than some. But we all tend to copy each other. Surround yourself with the people who you want to be like. You can see people who are authentically being themselves and love being themselves, because they're not trying to be anything else. Of course, this list is not exhaustive. There are so many other ways that you can perfect your self-love. These are just some of the ways that I suggest that you work on perfecting your self-love. As I said, it's not just about trying to adjust your appearance to look the way that you think it should look. There are so many other ways that you love yourself, apart from going to the spa to get your hair and your nails done, or to get a massage. I mean, those things are good. Pampering is good as well. Self-care is good. But it isn't the only way that we can love ourselves. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight to this episode. I hope you got some really good gems from it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share, because we all need this type of message, right? Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. And you can rate the podcast wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. If you want to leave me a review as well, that would be great. I think this is episode 7, so I have 2 more episodes left in this season before we close off. So take care of yourself, and we'll link up in another episode.